you're thinking about turning your home into a short-term rental or an Airbnb, or you're actually running an Airbnb already, you need to watch this entire video. The rules and fees are changing significantly in 2025, and staying informed is crucial to protecting your investment. But before we dive in, if you could do me a really big favor and hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any updates on real estate and short-term rental regulations that could impact you. All right, let's talk about the eligibility requirements. So to legally operate an Airbnb or a short-term rental in Los Angeles, you must meet some specific home sharing requirements. First, your property must be your primary residence, meaning you have to live there for at least 6 months of the year. There is an exception for accessory dwelling units or ADUs built before 2017, but in general, you can only register one property under one name. Your home also needs to be zoned for residential use and cannot fall under the Rent Stabilization Ordinance or affordable housing programs or the Ellis Act restricted properties. Additionally, temporary structures like vehicles or non-permitted shelters cannot be used in your home sharing. So you can't use a tent or a shed or an Airstream. They all have to be real property. Wouldn't it be nice to rent out your office space and make a little extra cash? But unfortunately, rules won't let you do that. Now, to prove your eligibility, the city requires valid documentation. So you'll need a government issued ID along with two of the following: your California voter registration, vehicle registration, recent utility bills, property tax statements, recent pay stubs, and your current lease agreement. Now, if you are a tenant rather than a homeowner, you'll need to get your landlord's approval to do this. This must be notarized and submitted in an official city form with verified landlord contact information. So here are the fee updates for 2025. Starting July 1st of 2024, home sharing registration fees were increased. Regular home sharing registration increased from $192 to $199, and extended home share registration increased from $1,030 to $1,066. Not a huge increase, but need to be aware of that. But here's where things get a little bit tricky. In September 1st of 2024, there was a 3.2% per night fees as well as violation fines. So these adjustments reflect rising administration costs. So it's essential to budget for these accordingly. Now, there are some new regulations for 2025. So for those of you who are living in unincorporated areas of Los Angeles County, new restrictions take effect in 2025. Your registration fee will be set at $914, and there will be stricter limitations on your property use. ADUs, guest houses, vacation homes will no longer be allowed as short-term rentals. I know that's a pain in the butt because that's probably why you built some of these ADUs, is to rent them out. But unfortunately, you can't use them as short-term rentals. Now, additionally, hosts will be restricted to renting out just one property with one booking per night permitted. To prevent overcrowding, short-term rentals will have a maximum occupancy of 12 guests per reservation. And that's basically to tamp down on parties or commercial events because those are strictly prohibited. Because of the recent fires, there are some emergency provisions that the City Council just approved. Recognizing the need for temporary housing solutions, the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors approved emergency modifications to short-term rental rules. These modifications allow property owners to operate multiple short-term rentals if they are providing housing for displaced residents affected by emergencies, such as wildfires or natural disasters. ADUs and junior ADUs will be temporarily permitted as short-term rentals under these provisions. Remember, these are only temporary solutions and they're only extended until May of this year. So make sure that you're keeping up to date with the current regulations because they could possibly extend that. If you plan to host an Airbnb in Los Angeles, you must adhere to some strict operational guidelines in terms of booking limits, which include 120-day annual cap unless you qualify for an extended home sharing permit. And there can only be one reservation at a time, a maximum of 2 adults per habitable room, and no commercial events, parties, or late night gatherings. There's also some safety requirements, which makes sense. You have to have a working fire extinguisher, a functional smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, clearly marked exits for emergencies, and posted safety information for guests. Additionally, all listings must display a valid registration number, and hosts must ensure compliance with all city regulations across every platform where the property is listed. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky, and this is how they're going to enforce and fine you. Starting on September 1st of 2024, enforcement of home sharing violations will become stricter with higher fines for noncompliance. So if you operate without proper registration, you could face fines of up to $500 per day or double your nightly rate, whichever is higher. The repeat violations can even lead to steeper penalties. So make sure that if you are doing a short-term rental, you adhere by all these rules because they are starting to enforce these rules more and more. Exceeding booking limits comes with a $2,000 per day fine or double the nightly rate. Serious infractions could even result in permanent registration revocation. And the city is also implementing a citation system. 2 citations will lead to a 30-day suspension. 3 citations will result in 1-year ban from home sharing, and citations will remain on your record for 2 years. So to avoid these costly penalties, it's really, really important that you follow all home sharing regulations really carefully. Now, for those of you who want to rent year-round, there is an extended home sharing permit, which is required. To qualify, you must hold a regular home sharing registration for at least 6 months or have hosted 60 days. You have to maintain a clean citation record and notify your neighbors of your extended rental plans. You have to pay an annual registration fee of $1,066. Now, this permit must be renewed every single year to remain valid. So make sure that you are renewing this every year if you have an Airbnb extended permit. And it wouldn't be California without taxes. So there is going to be a transit occupancy tax or a TOT, and those rates are pretty hefty. On top of registration fees, you have to pay these transit occupancy tax. And these rates vary by cities. So Los Angeles, it's 14%. San Francisco, it's 14%. San Diego, it's 10.5%. And in Palm Springs, it's 11.5%. But make sure you factor in these taxes when you're looking in your nightly rates. Some of these platforms automatically collect that on your behalf, but if they don't, you just need to make sure that you're doing that. These regulations change frequently, so it's important to monitor official sources for the latest updates. You can stay informed by checking planning.lacity.org, city notifications and public announcements, quarterly consumer price index adjustments, and local ordinance revisions. Or you can just keep coming back to my channel and I'll update you of any new Airbnb rules that come into place. And you can also reach out to me if you're thinking about selling one of your Airbnbs and you're sick of being a landlord. I'd be more than happy to give you an assessment of what your home is worth. Just click on the link down below and I will get you a full assessment of your property. It's a really great website called homebot.com. It is a perfect opportunity to use that website because it gives you information about short-term rentals, long-term rentals, your equity in your home, and you get that once a month and it's completely free. If you have any questions, you can always call me as well. My name is Felipecrook with eXp Realty, investing in your dreams.